So it's the 26th of September, and the YouTubers have been given early access. The approved list have been given early access for the past 5 days now, just as I predicted in my last video. And so we now have some coverage to consider and look at for some interesting observations we might find. So first thing to notice is that if you filter for the past day with the term Pharaoh, so today, nothing has more than 10,000 views, and there's not really much coverage. There's a Spanish guy covering it, one of the approved YouTubers. Like, content creators. Content. Oh, there's someone, a French guy with 15,000 views. A French guy! Is he massive? Is that why he's got views? Nope. How did he get those views? Oh, because it's part 1 and he just started it. Oh, he's... Wait a minute. Oh, he just started 2 days ago. He's getting some decent numbers though. I think he might be established on Twitch. Don't know what's going on there. So he's getting views for some reason, but the rest of them are not. Not many views. And also, if we go back to a couple of days ago, or 1 day ago, I made a post that screenshotted what this looked like back then. So the same thing then. Search for Pharaoh past day, and nothing has more than 10,000 views, and a lot of the stuff there is just completely unrelated. But there was one interesting upload, a Jackie Fish video. Total War Pharaoh has a big problem. And of course someone posted it on my Reddit. There was no remaining argument for this game, completely destroyed here. I have to laugh, so many of us have been trying to explain forever why the battles aren't good. Then the company puts this game out, claims there are AI improvements in battles, and yeah, they did, didn't they? In my last video where I was going through the developer diary thing, they did claim something about AI. Who are you going to believe now? Shills, CA, or your lying eyes? It really is over. And then Cynical Samster, also known as Nasmer on YouTube, gives Jackie a bit of a hard time here, which is understandable, of course. But at the same time, he is making something that's surely critical. Maybe we'll see why Nasmer came out with this if we look at the video. Alright, here we go. Total War Pharaoh has a big problem. Playing the most recent test build, it seems like the AI is really struggling with a lot of the situations, and hopefully this can be addressed going forward. Alright.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Total War Pharaoh. So today's video is going to be, I guess, a little bit different. We're not necessarily going to be playing a lot of the game, more so watching, as I wanted to make a video talking about some of the pretty major issues I've had with the Pharaoh's AI over my...
Pretty major issues he's had with the AI, so he's dedicated a video pretty much exclusively to talking about a problem. So he's in the very unenviable position that I was in with Troy, where I got the game and I was really not impressed, and I was in this situation of basically being allowed to participate in a marketing campaign. I was expected to upload videos after having been given the game for free, which basically means that I'm making ads. That's, even though I didn't pay for the game myself, I did pay for the game in the sense that I'm now here having to cover the game in a way that is denatured. I can't be completely honest and give a review because that'll piss off CA. I can't just shit on the game because that means that CA will get pissed off and might even just pull access in future. So you have to... There's a conflict of interest that's really pronounced. We'll get into this in future videos. I've already made a video about the shilling situation, but I might talk in detail about access journalism and the chilling effect it has on speech and coverage and journalism in general in future. But for now, I'll just say Jackie Fish is in a very... He's the one that has made the cracks start to appear in the veneer, the facade. For Rome Remastered, that was officially Devon when he talked about how bad the UI was. No one else was talking about how shit the UI was, at least no one was making a fuss about it. Officially Devon was the only one that was really complaining over and over again about the UI, and people didn't seem to realise just how bad the UI was until, guess when? they bought the game and saw it for themselves. And that shows that the coverage on the whole during early access is pretty much just worthless. It's all basically fake. But sometimes you can, if you can interpret properly the coverage, you can see what is actually going on. And when you see these cracks appear in the facade, that is when you have to really pay attention. When someone actually takes the risk of saying things that are going to probably not make CA very happy, those are the videos that you should really be paying attention to. Those are the ones that should get views, not the ones that are all happy, rainbows, sunshine, bunny rabbits. The ones that are critical and are pointing out things that the other people are too scared to do, which might be the case here. People might just be too much of a pussy to point out that the AI in Pharaoh is really shit, and it might have just been up to Jackie Fish to do this. We'll see. This is the thing, you can't know. We can't know, even though these people have been given access to the game, they have a conflict of interest that means anything they do or say can't be trusted. It's been altered, it's been denatured, it's been modified, it's being filtered. It's like clean water going through a dirty filter means you get dirty water. So regardless of how good their intentions are and how hard they try to be honest, the fact that they've been given the game for free and the CA considers them to be part of their marketing campaign, and the fact that they expect to continue to have this going forward, means that anything they say or do is compromised. So just remember that.
Of the pretty major issues I've had with the Pharaoh's AI over my last maybe 5-6 hours of gameplay. I will preface this video, of course, by saying I'm not just here to hate on Total War Pharaohs, definitely not here to hate on CA in general.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is completely unnecessary. This is what happens when someone knows they should say something critical, but is anticipating the consequences of doing it. This is him buying the leeway that he needs to be critical of the game. This is the problem. This should not happen. This is evidence that early access is a horrible system, and giving away free copies to reviewers is a horrible system. This is extremely unenviable. I would not want to be in this situation, this position again. People talk about me getting, like, they always use these similar phrases every time. They always say kicked out or booted out. Motherfucker, I started uploading super critical videos saying that Troy was shit and it was basically a clone of Warhammer, and I wasn't even saying it at the time, but my position was that Warhammer was shit too, and I just wanted to ignore Warhammer and critique Troy. I came out fucking guns blazing, and I don't give a shit about having early access anymore, and surprise surprise, I don't have any early access anymore, and I don't want any. I value much more my ability to gloat and say I've had my access removed, manually, permanently removed. I've been reviewed and evaluated as unsuitable for marketing the game. That's worth way more to me, and that never ever will any of my videos just be an ad where I am helping to market a game. I'm always just saying exactly what I think, with no ulterior motives but my own gratification. And I like also the fact that I can tell people take what I say way more seriously because of it. I'm not just completely written off as I otherwise would be and should be if I was just uploading ads to make money for a company and getting some crumbs on the side out of it. It's way better. You couldn't pay me to be in that position. And if you want to know why I don't want to have fucking early access and free review copies of Total War games, I don't want to be in the position this guy's in right now where he's having to do this. It's so good that he's doing this, especially if it turns out that AI is an abortion and he was the only one that was calling out. But I don't want to have to be in this position. I prefer where I am right now, where he's the one that has to take the risk of playing a shit game, be given something for free and have a conflict of interest, and then have to muddle his way through the process of making this video and all of the pain involved. Well, you can look at my video. Where was it? I've got one here. Yep, see, this is my video. Just listen to what it was like for me, right? I can play the first battle in Troy as Achilles. Here it is. And pull off 4 losses to get the win. Also, the fact that I'm being this deliberate with my speech might be a clue that there's something going on here that isn't right. Just saying. And you might be thinking, that there's something seriously wrong there. And you might be right. Maybe you're right. But it isn't just one thing. It's a lot of different things coming together to permit that. And what I was getting into here is that I'm in early access playing the first battle in Troy, and I'm winning the battle with 4 losses because, first of all, single entities suck. Secondly, the AI sucks, and I can just break the game in early access and trivialize it. Last bastion. So Troy is really forgiving. Units can slip through each other and slip away. Definitely is forgiving in that sense. It's a bit like, oh no, the first man goes down. Oh man, that's the first one to go. It's all. See, I'm basically making a joke of every single time one of my men dies because I'm just taking the piss out of the game at this point. The collision was messed up. The AI was. It didn't know how to handle single entities. Single entities were overpowered. The game was just so easy to reduce to absurdity, and I was doing that in early access. 4 losses in the opening battle. This was me showing people what the game was like when it was being pushed during early access.
This is more so just kind of like showing you guys what the Total War Pharaoh AI is like, so that if you are planning on buying or skipping this game, you are a bit more informed. So do be civil down below in the...
Yeah, and that's what I was doing as well when I was uploading my equivalent video in 2020. It's the same kind of thing there. I couldn't come out and say, alright, this is some fucking weird Warhammer bullshit, I do not like this. But at the same time, I had to be honest about the game and what I was covering. So this is what I went with. I just did the opening battle and abused everything in the game that was there to be abused. Let's find that shot. And I used this in some of my critiques as well. It's so weird, the way they just fly around the battlefield. They just phase around in blobs. It's like watching birds. You know those birds that flock and they just change direction altogether at the same time? It's like a... it's almost like a... It really is almost like they're just going through the air. They're flying, they have momentum, and they all just flock together at the same time. See that? They really do just look like birds flocking. Look at that, they look like birds in the sky. It's so weird. It really is just strange. Man, I should have probably came to that realization sooner, but that's what I was thinking all along without knowing it. I was looking at a swarm of sparrows or something. Man.
Comments, there's definitely no need to attack any developers or anything along them lines, and I shouldn't really even have to say that, but hey, we live in...
And you don't have to say that. This is the conflict of interest again. Like, he's got to defend CA even though he's making a video being really critical of them. That's the thing.
2023. I will also preface this video as we dive in. I've got 4 replays today as well. So we've got 2 siege, but we've got a siege battle, we've got a minor settlement battle, and then 2 land battles. And again, I will preface this by saying that I am playing a pre-release version of the game. I assume there will be 1 or 2 more patches before the actual release version of the game does come out. However, we are like under a month away from launch, so something as fundamental as the AI I doubt will improve dramatically.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if the game's pretty much finished by now, and that they don't finish games for release anymore. They finish it in time for YouTubers to start their marketing campaign. So I think that's what's going on here. I think the game's pretty much done as of like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and then they started giving it out to YouTubers, and now they're just doing finishing touches that are not going to affect the YouTuber coverage that much, but are nonetheless required for a completed game. Maybe the late game stuff that they just left unfinished. If they had to prioritise stuff, they would have left the late game stuff to the end. So they might be touching that up right now. That's just my guess.
From this point on, maybe it will, who knows, but yeah, just at this point in time, this is how the AI is, and this was one of the land battles I was fighting on my stream, and I mean, you can immediately see what's kind of going on, and this seems to be a running theme. The AI doesn't really know what the hell it wants to do. And it's not like I'm doing anything crazy. Like, I threw some chariots around the flank. I brought up my army in a very, very standard formation. And the AI, I guess, can't really understand what the hell is going on here, which is really, really embarrassing. Like, this is...
I have to wonder if it's to do with the terrain there, because there are rocks that are impassable, and it could be messing up the AI's ability to position itself. It seems like its formation is constantly changing. See, when I watch this, it actually reminds me of this here. See this shuffling thing that the AI does? It's so reminiscent of this. This is like a Total War unique problem. All these illegal moves, all this shit that doesn't make sense.
Really bad for the AI to be doing this. This was, I think, the only occasion it did something like this.
And I think getting close to the AI means that a different routine has to start, and they have to start taking targets, and that will change the original one that's causing all this bugging out, because they'll have different units allocated to this task of finding a formation to face off against this. So I think by moving the chariots up behind, they actually fixed it. That was so exploitable though. See if they could have just charged in with everything while it was all disorganised. I think that would have just broke this whole army, assuming the game worked properly at all, which we don't have any reason to believe it does yet.
As stupid as this, but this is pretty much, you know, major. This is a really, really bad issue. And then
yeah, it's still a mess, but it's sort of organising itself now, and it'll be taking targets.
Even when the battle does continue, as you guys can see.
Yeah, so there's some chasing the chariots, some chasing chariots there, and the rest is going towards the main line. And it seems like there's some in reserve here.
The AI does kind of
out, reserve
doesn't
there.
Really try and match me, match my
so there's
battle
waves
line whatsoever. They do funnel in. There's multiple units.
So they've taken targets quite rationally. They've sent units after the chariots, and they've sent the rest after the main line. So after that initial mess, it did clean itself up, get its act together, and has started attacking at the very least. But he does complain about this as well, I think.
It's like all in this central position, and you know they do send units charging away the chariots, which again is understandable. They do have to deal with that, but yeah, this is pretty bad. There's like units just kind of scattered around, and they're just heavily focused in. They're not trying to like match my battle line or anything along them lines. And yeah, that initial like blobbing just really, I guess, messed up any chance they had of forming a cohesive battle line. Okay, next we have a battle where I'm sallying out of a settlement and pushing forward. Again, I really like the way that the settlements...
And I think he said something that indicated that was typical as well. So if that happens frequently, then it's a problem. If it's not a one-off, it's a problem. And he did say something that suggested that that was typical or something that happened with frequency. So if the AI bugs out a lot, then is it another Rome 2? Is it another Empire? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. How bad actually is it? Because Troy's wasn't even that bad. On launch, Troy's was just... It just didn't know how to deal with single entity threats from the player when the player did micro. If the player's micro in single entities, the AI doesn't know what the hell to do in any of these Total War games. That was the problem with 3K, and in 3K it felt like there were two battles going on at the same time. There were the single entities that were just running around, and then there were the actual units that were fighting each other, and it was like there were two different battles. It was so bizarre, which is why I just turned that shit off as soon as I could. And then in Troy, I just stopped playing that because it was very clear that the single entities, if you micro them, mean that you can just win every battle with no losses pretty much. It's such a mess. All you really need is some skirmishing units and single entities and you can win everything, just like in Warhammer. So yeah, Troy is just fucking Warhammer. Three Kingdoms actually was quite similar. Three Kingdoms, even on records mode, I eventually just got cavalry and crossbows and just completely shunned melee infantry because they were completely useless. So these games are all really similar. Micro of single entities takes primacy over actual units and battle tactics. It's such a shame. And that goes into my video, Disintegration and Total War's Order of Battle. There's a lot of overlap there. That was like a development on my single entity problem video.
is actually inside of it. It's a real shame you can't like mount units up here. It'd be really cool if you could actually go ahead and fight like down here and choose to take the battle here. And again, that's actually another really good reason you guys will see in the next minor settlement battle. It'd be ultra cool if you could kind of initiate the battle out here with the wall as like a defensive position.
That would only happen if they were attacking you. But if they are attacking you, you wouldn't want to be out beyond the walls. If you're attacking them, then there's no reason for them to fight at walls, because then it would be like that scene in the Troy movie with Brad Pitt where Agamemnon and what's his name? Menelaus. Agamemnon and Menelaus, the Mycenaeans, they attacked the walls of Troy and then they had to just retreat. Why would you take a fight at the walls? You would retreat to a hill and then you would defend yourself while they sally forth. They're trying to break the siege, so you would retreat and fight somewhere favourable. Yeah, so that wouldn't happen. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not sure what he's saying there, other than I should be able to man the walls, but it should be pointless because they're going to just run away as soon as I do that, because it's in their interest to do that.
Apparently, I think someone said that you could do that in Troy. I actually have no idea. I didn't get enough hours in Troy to really go ahead and feel this.
Yeah, it does make sense
so
to me.
next battle, I'm sallying out. The AI is, again, not really sure on what it's doing here, like trying to reform, but at least it's matching my formation. They don't have a ton of infantry, but they do have...
So let's watch this again. This looks like a pretty typical flipping, which is something we've seen in Total War pretty much since the start. This is something silly that they always do.
So next battle, I'm sallying out. The AI is, again, not really sure on what it's doing here, like trying to reform, but at least it's matching my formation. They don't have a ton of infantry, but they do have at least...
Yeah, this is interesting. Ranged units are on the flank here, and then on there as well.
Some good axes. I'm going to push up here,
So that's an aggressive skirmishing formation. You've got your skirmishers really exposed on the flanks, infantry in the centre. That's really strange. I'm not sure about that. I think the AI just changed its tactics for some reason there. I wouldn't put much weight in that just yet. We'll see though.
I'm going to go ahead and just like hold the choke point, use my missiles. Again, bounce power bar is very, very even at this point. There's no like real disturbing factors. I'm on the offense as well. So I'm going to be very aggressive here. Push forward.
It seems like a mixed formation now as well. Like you've got melee units over here and then ranged here. It's a really bad formation, I think. Why would you have missile units superposed one in front of the other with a gap in the line with no melee? Because now the player's incentivized to just punch through this gap. They'll retreat and then... Is it like a false gap or something where it baits you in? I don't get this. What's the AI doing here? I don't think this is something the AI in any Total War game should be doing. That's really strange.
Forward, the AI set up their chariots, etc. We have a little bit of a skirmish off, and then all of a sudden, the AI just starts like look at this. The AI just starts sending in units like one by one.
Yeah, I think Jackie's right here. This really doesn't make sense. That's like a proximity radius thing that got triggered and it sent a unit in. It seems like it can't tell if it's attacking a cohesive bulk of a line or a stray unit, because in a game like Shogun 2, the AI would be quite good, I think, at just finding stray units and sending units after them to see them off. But in this case, it's just a suicidal charge. Does the AI think that it's found a hard counter to a unit and it's worth doing this? Because it's just not worth it. It's so easy to pull this back and then send a faster unit that can counter it to chase it down, and while it's isolated, cut off. This is really bad from the AI. It's not rational. This reminds me of bullshit Troy tactics here, where it might run up to you and then run away and then just keep doing that. Where the melee units are so fast that they're essentially skirmishers and they're all just sprinting around the battlefield like a flock of starlings or something.
This isn't a full-on engagement. This isn't like a...
But nah, it commits. Is it charging past the unit as well? Did it just not even see that and it's charging past it?
Like, this isn't
what
like
is
them
this?
skirmishing or anything along them lines. The AI just sends in one individual unit to come and fight me. He has infantry here, he has infantry here, has his general unit here.
And now it's surrounded because Jackie had 2 units there that are easily going to come into the flank of it and kill it. So that was really bad from the AI. He's totally right about this.
They're just getting shot. Infantry back here has his chariots.
Also, I'd like to know what difficulty he's playing this on. if it was in my case, I would always be playing on the hardest difficulty, and you would just know that way. But other people, for some reason, don't play on fucking legendary or very hard or whatever, and they play on normal or hard or whatever. Like actual YouTubers do that. So I don't even know what difficulty he's playing on. But if this is on the hardest difficulty and the AI still carries on like this, then that's really bad.
Which could be kind of aggressive. Granted, I have more infantry than him.
Yeah, there.
But
It's
like,
getting
it's
crushed.
kind of like the AI doesn't really know if it wants to skirmish with me, which is.
Oh yeah, and there's the banners. So I've commented in a previous video about the banners being unsure if they've been implemented well, but in this case it does look like the banners fray and become pale, and it actually does work.
Currently doing with its chariots and its archers, or if it wants to engage.
Or not so much pale as they flash. It is pale, isn't it? That's because it's shattered though. Yeah. So it seems like it works. I can immediately tell at a glance that this unit has been broken and is damaged too. So the colour makes it clear that it's routed, and why can't they just make it white though? What? Can't they just make it white? So have it. So it's routed, and also I wish this. It's like you've got two bow symbols. There's a bow thing up here. I think maybe Jackie doesn't know that you can turn this shit off. It's the kind of mistake I would make as well. But it's like we've got banners, standards. And then we've got the silly little fucking icons above them as well at the same time, and it's redundant. It's such a mess, isn't it? Holy shit, it's an absolute mess. All these icons everywhere. What an absolute eyesore this game is. Fuck's sake. Is this default? Are all these YouTubers playing with these settings? Because holy shit, this is an absolute eyesore. What the hell has happened? It's like an arcade game, a cartoon. See if they just got rid of these stupid little fucking circle icon things and had the banners and we just played like that, that'd be so much better.
Age with me. And that just means that they just send in units one by one. I'm going to go ahead and surround this with my generals, cut them to pieces. And then they're going to do exactly the same thing again. So I'm going to kill this unit right here. And then look, another opponent has come to fight. We're going to send in again another unit of Egyptian axemen.
Yeah,
into
this
my
is
defensive
bad.
line as I just continue to just shoot them down. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's just charge them down. Like again, what the hell what's this unit doing as well? Like, I guess maybe they can't see it and they're a little bit scared of any cavalry coming. But this unit was just.
See that reminds me of Rome 2. See when they would just stand there facing the wrong way. That is Rome 2. Like holy shit. Let's find an example. So you might know, you might not know, but I was there on September the 3rd, 2013 when Rome 2 came out. This is my Athens campaign.
You're capturing it. I'm not even going to walk forward, I'm just going to let you do that.
That's crazy. Let's see if the AI is retarded. I'm going to be annoyed.
I don't think we even need to fight. I think this army is about to be destroyed without even fighting.
I think you need a certain number of capture points, so maybe once we go...
There's only one that I can see.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's a small town, so no walls.
Maybe there's
So-
a timer, like a minute until you win.
50 seconds, it starts counting down, I think.
Victory points, okay, yeah.
Should capture.
The longer you hold it, the worse it is for them. They've not moved at all.
Maybe, oh wait, there's other units, maybe. We can't
49,
see.
48. Oh my god, are they going to be... Is the AI fucked? Have they shipped a
I think
broken
the
AI?
AI is fucked.
Yep, I think we were the first ones to actually say that. I asked on September the 3rd, quite early in the morning, because we were awake when this game went up. What did I say? Oh my god, are they going to be... Is the AI fucked? Have they shipped a
I think
broken
the
AI?
AI is fucked because this.
Have they shipped a broken AI? September 3rd, 2013.
This is their whole army, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, come on.
And they're doing nothing, and they've taken a settlement for nothing, pretty much.
35 seconds to go and they're just sitting there.
They're just, look at this, guys, look at this, what is this?
See if they were just running around, that would have been better. This is
You
hopeless.
think they would run to the capture point and they'd know it'd been captured?
Alright, fast forward.
Hey, is it going to come out victory right now?
It's gonna come up victory
Is
right
it?
now. It's gonna.
It's taking its time.
Oh, did it do it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
In battle.
Yep, so... I was there and that's how bad it can be. Obviously Pharaoh isn't as bad as that, at least I don't think so. But the reason I bring this up is that I'm getting deja vu here. A lot of deja vu. Like there, look.
Guy.
A guy in the
Killed
back.
one guy, he's on fire.
Wait, he's on fire? Holy shit.
Killed a guy who was on fire and then he kind of died. Oh, archers are shooting. You're gonna pump them, man.
They're just sitting there.
They've got no defense on that beach.
I
They're
know,
in the open. They're gonna get owned.
What are they doing? They're just sitting there getting fucked.
What the fuck?
Oh no. Yeah, September 3rd, Rome 2. I was there for all of this shit. So whenever I see this, I get deja vu. I have a feeling I've seen this before.
Just like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's just charge them down. Like again, what we're gonna send in again another unit of Egyptian axemen into my defensive line as I just continue to shoot them down. And at this point, I'm like,
Yeah, that. There's no reason for this unit to be facing here. Why are they even doing that? What's made them do that? Is there a player's unit down here somewhere? Like what?
yeah, okay, cool. Let's just charge them down. Like again, what the hell was this unit doing as well? Like, I guess maybe they can't. Maybe they can't see.
There's nothing there. There was no reason for them to do that. So that's just bad AI. That should never happen. Holy shit, man, that's bad.
And they're a little bit scared of any cavalry coming, but this unit was just completely facing the wrong direction as well. These axemen haven't jumped in to stop this quite yet, or anything along them lines. Again, the archers are just charging in to come to their death here as well.
Archers charging into melee. Have they even used all their ammo?
In my formation, and yeah, that's but it's not really great. Like the AI seems really indecisive, doesn't really know what it's doing, and it's quite frustrating to have this happen because one of the main things is like the reason why I believe that the maps are so small. Like the map is tiny. The map is absolutely tiny. If you like, I had what, like 10 units along here. If I was also sending units around the flank and then trying to use like chariots to like maneuver and stuff, there's just no room. Like, there's no room to maneuver. The battle maps are very small, and I assume that was to help the AI in some sense to, like, actually kind of just go forward and you just hit into each other. And the AI is really struggling to kind of comprehend that and either engage or not, you know? And yeah, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating because I feel like big battle maps are, like, a big part, like, deciding where you're going to fight the enemy is where it's all about. And I really love like the detail, the handcrafted detail that does, like that is in a handful of the Pharaoh maps. Like they're cool.
So I think what might have happened here is that his brain caught that he had just basically shat on the game quite hard for a prolonged period of time there, and he might have overstepped because of course he is playing a game for free that he got early because CA expects something from him. Or he might even interpret that as CA are nice, might misconstrue that as CA being nice, selfless, and he might feel guilty or whatever. Like, there's so much that can be going on in a person's head in this kind of situation. But either way, he's decided to sort of reel it back in and then compliment the game and say the maps are nice. You see how messy this is? You see how much of a problem this early access shit really is?
Designs, but they also bottleneck you. There's no decision on where you want to form up your formation, and yeah, it's just kind of frustrating. Cool. So now we've taken a look at the two land battles. Now let's dive in and take a look at a minor settlement battle and see how the AI kind of acts with that. Okay, cool. Minor settlement battle. So this was something that I picked up on.
Alright, so that was a really good one, and I think he covered that actually really well. So he showed all the terrible AI decisions over the course of the battle. I'm really glad he made this video already. That's only halfway in. But just to contrast, so I've got Medieval 1. Let's look at this. Okay, so I've got, how many units have I got? I've got 3 units, 2 spearmen, a unit peasants, and I'm up against a couple of units, is it? Or 1 unit? Yeah, there's 1 unit here, and I'm trying to get a free charge against it. This is the unit on unit, super tactical AI. This is how it handles being charged. Just look at this. So it immediately counter charges, and now I run away. See that? It sensed that it was being charged. Right, let's show that again. The AI senses it's being charged in the flank by my peasants. Here we go. And it immediately charges back. See that? See that? So if you can charge in a better formation, then even if the AI countercharges, you can still have the upper hand. But you will never just get a free charge when it's completely needless. This is how Medieval 1's AI was just better. it never just gave the player free charges like that. You had to earn your charges. You had to use hammer and anvil. There you go. So they got a charge into peasants. Now I get a charge that preserves my spearmen into them. Let's find another example. Alright, this is a good one. So I've got some cavalry this time. So they have 2 units of spears. I'm flanking with cavalry. They are going after my cavalry units, 1 each. See that? So this is Medieval 1 2002. This is really good AI so far. It's doing everything it should. The main threats are the cavalry, and instead of allowing me to do whatever I want with impunity, they are sending units after. They're matching my units. They're not going after my peasants or my archers that are miles away. They're going after my cavalry that are right there. They're not sending 2 units after 1 unit. They're sending a unit after a unit. So now there's 2 separate things going on. Now I try and change it. I try and send 2 against 1 here. So let's see what happens. Alright, they're charging against me. But alright, I got a bit of a free charge there. Because they were already charging, I got a bit of a free charge, just barely. See how the windows are so small though? So I did alright there. I killed about 20 for about nearly 10. Alright, let's see what happens if I charge them now before they can form up again. Attacking, so they're already charging me. See, they counter charge immediately. So I've had 1 of 2 free charges, and then, well, trying to recommit, I get caught. So far the AI, look, yeah, just like that, the AI's pulled it back. And cavalry is finicky in this game, so most of the time you're not going to get away with just bullying the AI, exploiting it with micro. Anything you do is deliberate. You have to commit to it. Unless you get perfect micro retreats like that. There you go, I got a little bit of a free charge there. And now I'm trying to get a double free charge. So I got in, I've pulled out, I've taken some losses, and then I hit them in the rear. There you go, I got 2 rear charges. But they weren't proper rear charges because, of course, there's not a hammer and anvil situation. They are not pinned on the face of an infantry unit or a spear unit. So I'm not actually getting proper rear charges because they don't have a rear, they're still just running around. See how this game just worked better? There's no such thing as the back of a unit if the unit is carrying freely carrying 2-handed axes or halberds or swords and aren't in a committed fight. They're not committed, they're not decisively engaged. There's no such thing as the front or the back of a unit. So the idea of getting a rear charge doesn't even really make that much sense. This is one of the problems that all Total War games have had ever since. You can get rear charges on units that are not even committed. And that's one of the biggest problems, I think, with these games. Also the fact that they don't have this counter-charge behaviour that you see here, where they instinctively counter-charge.
Your general has fallen before the enemy.
There you go, and see, despite my meticulous micromanagement there, relatively meticulous, I was of course testing to see what the AI would be able to do. Because of the AI being robust, I don't just get free routes or free kills on units. The AI responds rationally and defends itself. It does what should be expected of it. It actually defends itself and tries to use its units somewhat rationally. It tries to stay alive and win. The AI tries to win. You would never get that now because the way they design these games now assumes that if the player loses, they're going to just quit the game. They're going to just be unhappy and quit the game. It's like they're just playing it really safe now with how these games are designed.
On in my earlier access.
So that was the open battles. That's why I went into that there and showed that. But I should also get into this. So that was the unit on unit engagement. But now, here is how the AI forms up. So we've talked so far about how the unit on unit combat works. But here's how the AI positions itself on the battlefield, which is what we've been talking about in the Jackie video of Pharaoh. Alright, so they've taken trees on a hill. That's a really solid position. That protects them from a melee while defending against the main threat I've got, which is longbows. Look at that. Most of my army is longbows, and they've positioned themselves in the only trees that they really had. So now I'm doing something here. I'm trying to take higher ground above them. They're repositioning a little bit to angle to deal with that. They're trying to see me off to deter me with archers. They're holding their position in the trees though. Alright, so to make this interesting, I try and charge the archers and they immediately send an infantry unit after me. So it's almost like the archers were a bait to get my cavalry. So far so good, this AI is rational. I'm not doing that well so far, I've only done a bit of damage and the AI's given itself a chance to catch my cavalry. I only just made it away. See that? I only just made it. And now to have the fight continue sensibly, I think I try and get some shots at those Highlanders. Because that's just how this fight would unfold, it's the normal thing to do. The expected thing. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, firing. Yep. So I'm now taking my shots into their Highland clansmen from the high ground. See how this is just satisfying? It's so intuitive. It's a tit for tat. Play by play. You do this. You do that, I do this. Look at that distance that I'm firing from as well. Like, see how much the terrain matters? This is why me and the AI are both competing for the high ground. Because the high ground actually matters. It's so good. There's really nothing like this in any modern total war game. Look at that range I'm getting as well. Holy shit. I'm firing at the Highlanders over there and getting kills. Oh, that's so cool. And look at what happened as well. I haven't even commented on it yet, but because I took the high ground on them and I'm coming around them, see that? I've got the high ground here, so they abandon that position in the trees because it's vulnerable. And because I'm the one attacking them, they can now retreat and take a position anywhere on the map. They're not tied down to this position they took at the start. They haven't committed to this for the whole fight. They can go anywhere they want. So look at what happens here. 2002 AI. Look at this. The AI completely abandons its position and uses its mobility and speed to get away from me. They've been resting the whole time. I've been marching up the hill to get the high ground on them. So they're fresh and they can afford to just completely run away. And where are they going to go? Oh my god, they've split up, look at that. So some of the army's taking the high ground way over there. Some's taking the high ground over here. Look, they're going for the high ground. Is this amazing or what? What do you call this? Is this lost technology? Alright, so I'm taking the high ground on them again. And both sides taking the high ground. So I've split my army up into two partitions of 2 units each, and I'm trying to get the high ground on them again to see what they do. They're running away. See, they don't want to fight you if they're fighting uphill. They don't want to do it. They avoid it at all costs. They know how important the high ground is. Alright, now they are attacking me. They've realised that there's nowhere good that they can go to. And they're trying to get me. So I'm firing into them while I kite with my general. I've got a half of a bow unit and I'm using it. Oh, but now they're running away. They've decided not to deal with that. Let's find it again. Yep, they've given up on chasing the cavalry because it's faster. Doesn't make sense to chase a unit that's faster than you. Doesn't make sense to do it. They did it for a little while, saw they weren't going to catch it, so the AI is checking to see if the player is paying attention, and it chases your cavalry unit, and then after a while it just gives up, and they're running away now. So they don't want to stand there. They don't want to just sit there and get shot. They don't want to chase after the cavalry unit. So the next thing it can do is to run away and find better ground outside of your range. And then over here, I've started shooting at it. So let's see what happens here. But yeah, look, they're running away. See that? How rational is this? It's like CA just don't want the player to be dealing with a good AI. Sometimes it's just so hard to deny that CA don't want a good AI. They don't want you to be playing against a good AI. Because look how good the AI can be. It's starting to rain now, which makes my bows a little bit less effective. Dynamic weather in 2001, boys. Yep, so they're not going to sit there and get shot forever. They would do that in Rome 1, the game that came after this. They would just stand there and get shot forever. Alright, so now I retreat with the longbows. I position the spears on the high ground. And they have to deal with me. And then I try and fire into their flanks. So they've given themselves a decent fight. They're engaged with my spears. I don't have a particularly good shot into them with my longbows. It's as good as I can hope, and it's as good as they can hope, and this is how it should be. Both the player and the AI should get the best fight that they're capable of. And I think that's happened here. And then on the other side, we've got... Yeah, they're running away. See, they're not doing the silly thing. They're running away, and they're also drawing the fight out. Because look, if the clock gets to 0, they've won. They've managed to stave me off and got the victory that way. So it's like the AI knows about the clock as well. It can rationally behave when there's a clock. And I think I've even seen that in full-fledged fights where the AI retreats because it knows there's not enough time left on the clock. Like, the AI will attack you. The AI will attack you and then it will skirmish. And then if the fight doesn't go well enough and it starts running out of time, it will just retreat.
General has been slain.
Yeah, I think I've won. So, how interesting is that? Holy shit. Alright, let's find another one that's interesting. Alright. So, I'm playing as the English again here. A position on the hill. Do I? Alright, so I'm positioning on the hill. The AI, I'm chasing down some of their units that are up here. I think I do a lot of heavy skirmishing here. I think... Am I attacking them? I'm not sure if I'm attacking them or they're attacking me. I think I'm attacking them. So they're trying to skirmish with their cavalry. I'm positioning my units on the hills. I'm using my cavalry to catch some of their units. So I've now taken good positions on the hills above them. I'm firing down into them. Man, that's arbalisters down there taking fire from longbows. That's really satisfying. So I'm doing a lot of damage from really aggressive positions. I've got some good terrain advantages here. And I'm doing good damage. I'm getting a really good ratio against a substantial army. Quite substantial. I think we went into the fight mostly even. And they're trying to skirmish back. So they can't take me in the fight because I've got some really solid infantry units. I've also got some cavalry that I'm using to deal with their light cavalry. I'm skirmishing against their jinetes. And I'm doing well, taking down their skirmishing cavalry advantage. And then eventually, after a while... Let's have a look at this again. Yeah, so they've got loads of reinforcements. Look at all this. They have so much. I'm really up against it here, but they have so much stuff. But I'm dealing with everything they send at me. They're trying to skirmish for the moment. And they are succeeding in splitting me up, but I'm trying to maintain cohesion, and I'm doing a pretty good job of it. They have a lot. They have such a big army. They have way more than me. But look, they're now retreating. Their whole army is retreating. So they just avoided falling into the jaws of my army and being skirmished into oblivion while being impaled upon some really disciplined infantry guarding an impassable terrain. See this? The whole army's retreating. They have a bad fight here, and the AI knows not to take it. They took the fight initially, and then when I started to attrite them really horribly and get a really good KD against them, they decided to retreat, and they retreated in an organised fashion as well. I'm catching some units because I was really aggressive with my chasing down and flanking to catch some of their units. But the army had an organised retreat. Yeah. That's another example. Let's find another one. This is a really devastating one. So I've got a similar army again, quite a lot of longbows here, in a position around a pond or a loch. And this is the French. So I'm repelling French knights with longbows around impassable terrain. Do we get some salvos going out? Yep, so we have some nice salvos going out while billmen hold. Oh, and then I'm charging down feudal sergeants with billmen. I'm protecting my flanks quite well. They have pikemen that I'm going to be catching out in these trees here. So they are doing quite well here. I'm stretched thin. I'm not really using my longbows yet. They have more that they're going to bring in as well. But so far, it's a good fight for me. I'm taking some losses slowly. I've got some really experienced, disciplined, well-armed infantry though. My billmen are really solid. So I'm chewing them up. And I'm repositioning my units. I'm using my spears to hold them. And yeah, I'm flanking these pikes with my billmen. And even my Highland claymores that I've got here. Alright, so let's see what happens. Alright, the enemy king's dead. And so they form up. Yep, they're retreating. So they organised themselves and then they retreated. These units are not routing. They're engaging in an organised retreat. Some of them are routing. Hang on, let's find it. They can chain route when they're in this condition though. I think that's happening now. Let's see if any more units come in. Yeah, more units are coming in. Yeah, so some units were used to screen the retreat. And then they got more units in, and they're going for another try. So I used my bows to fire down these knights. And then they retreat. Look at that. They were on the cusp of being willing to fight this. And they were checking to see if I had ammo, and of course I had all of my ammo. So I'll do some skirmishing damage. And then the whole army decides to retreat because they see it's a bad fight. Look at this, the whole army's retreating. They've left. Yeah. See how the AI wants to preserve itself there? So the unit on unit engagement is better. That was 21 years ago because they can actually countercharge reliably. They have cohesion when they're attacking as well. They attack in a line in an organised fashion. They don't attack one unit at a time. And then the whole army acts in its own interest to preserve itself, because if it's in a bad fight, it'll retreat. So it's not going to just fight to the last man and die so the player can be satisfied. It's totally different.
Review of the game, not review, but look at the game. It was about 3 months ago, and I was very, very aware, and I noticed very quickly that if you just start shooting the AI in a minor settlement battle, they simply just sally out and fight you, but not in a good way. So right here, I'm going to push up here. I'm going to kind of position my entire force here. I start shooting them, and then boom. What's the point of us fighting inside of this settlement? The AI is just going to charge out. Granted, I have missile superiority, so they don't want to get shot. That's cool. But then why do we even have to have this battle? Why don't they just sally out and fight me on the field, right? Like, this is just a positive for me. And it's not like either that the AI is going out and sallying soldiers out from every single crevice to kind of really try and outflank my missile superiority. No, they simply just charge. They're like, this unit's coming all the way from over here just to go into this blob. And you can see, like, I'm just shooting them. I have peasant spearmen as well. I have, like, the worst infantry in the game. And this is all you need to do. You know, chariots, because there's nothing around here trying to stop me. There's nothing coming to outflank me. Again, if the AI outflanked me, I would be screwed here because I would have nothing. Like, I've had to commit all my infantry here. My peasant spearmen, they're literally just dudes in a cloth and with a spear, you know? Like, they're nothing. They would melt. And if they just sent any of their infantry, they have spare infantry back here, round the flank, they'd easily be able to deal with me. So what I feel like, you know...
Yeah, this is just the AI blobbing at one threat. They only see one threat at the moment, and they're just blobbing it. It's really bad. I don't understand this, because in Three Kingdoms, I don't think this happened. I think the AI was quite rational there. It kept units in reserve. It protected gaps. Like, see if you rotated some of your army around the town, they would allocate some of their army to match it, and they would match it really well. It would be hard to catch the AI out. It was actually good in Three Kingdoms, but this is this the same thing? Like, see if the player was to split his army up and have some units over there. It doesn't make sense for the AI to just blob through here like this, is what I'm saying. I don't know what kind of a calculation they have. Maybe they've thought, alright, seeing as we have all this melee and the player has barely any, shouldn't we just blob right through his melee and then kill all the archers? Is that what they're thinking? Because it's just not working in this case. If the AI just consistently blobs through one little aperture, then yeah, I think Jackie's got a point here. This is just garbage.
The AI should have that decision making on the AI should have the decision making like on the campaign map. Like, oh, we don't have missile superiority.
At the same time though, why hasn't he got units going around there? Like, shouldn't he have some of his archers going around there to draw units out of this fight? Every archer that he sends around there is either going to have a free flank or is going to pull a infantry unit over to pull out the fight, which will make the fight here better. So he should be doing that as well.
The banter power bar was pretty even, I believe, when we started the battle. We should just engage we should just sally out and engage in an open field battle, you know? Like, that should just be their rhetoric. That should just be their progression. And boom, you know, the AI routes and we just, yeah, absolutely kill them. Okay, let's finally take a look at sieges as well. This was something that I definitely noticed as well in like a handful of the siege battles I ran into. There were you know, a bunch of issues with the AI that really did cause some just stuff I just didn't really enjoy. By the way, I love the map as well. I think the actual battle maps in Pharaohs are really nice, like the siege maps. A big fan of this. Like, you can have archers up here firing down and stuff. That's really cool. There's defensive positions to fall back on and stuff. Yeah, I really do enjoy the battle map.
Yep,
so right now I'm just simply pushing up, having my archers fire in and stuff. You know, they're kind of just dueling back and forth. First thing I noticed as well that there are some issues here with climbing up the ladders as well. So it's not like it's like everybody's climbing up the ladder. Like, there's a very kind of small amount of people climbing up the ladders at once, which kind of I guess doesn't really give a great way of attacking. There's a lot of movement on the walls. Also notice that there's minor bugs. Again, stuff like this I would hope would be fixed before launch, but again, we don't know. It just kind of, again, just takes...
This is reminiscent of Rome 2. Holy shit, look at that.
Have that immersion, right? It's just like very simple. Maybe it's just this part of the walls bug.
Holy shit, that is actually Rome 2. That is what happened in Rome 2. I remember they would fly off the towers and everything. Holy shit, this is Rome 2 all over again. I remember there were siege towers and they would actually go up it like this and then just fly off it. I'm remembering right, Amna. I'm thinking of my treatise on Rome 2. There's a part of a battle in that where that happens and it looks terrible. Some weird shit going on there. Let's find it. Holy shit, yeah, I was right. Look at this. Oh my god, look. All of these deja vu moments. Fuck's sake. It's the same kind of thing again.
They just need a report. It's just like very simple. Maybe it's just this part of the wall's bugged and they just need it reported, and it's something that hopefully will be cleaned up. But my major issue, issue in sieges and watching how them kind of how they unfold is this right here. So I'm currently smashing down the gate. Oh, and boys, those of you who are around in Rome 1 days, you're.
This reminds me of Troy when one guy could just run up and start kicking the gate. You could get Achilles or Hector to just run up and fucking smash the gate down slowly. Just one guy taking down a gate.
About to be in for some nostalgia right here.
Wait, what does he say there?
Rome 1 days.
Oh.
You're about to be in for some nostalgia right here. So yeah, just attacking down the gates. It's down to 16%, just cutting it down. You know, trying to break through it with my weapons and stuff. Just chilling, just hanging out, just kind of cutting away, and then boom, my unit routes down the gate and just opens it. That's my unit doing that. My unit kind of routes and then just runs out, opens the gate for me, and now my units are in there, and then the gate closes.
See, if a gate has been attacked, there should just be some thing in place that means you can never open the gate like that. There's got to be something that stops that. See, if a gate is being attacked, fucking in front of the gate is, you literally can't open it because it opens outwards, doesn't it? And if they are at the gate pushing into it, try to break it, how the hell are you going to open it?
Comes out, opens the gate for me, routes down the gate, just kind of cutting away, and then boom.
Wait, it opens in? What the fuck? It opens in? That's not how these gates should work. That's not right. Something is wrong there. Gates should open out the way, shouldn't they? Or am I just...
My unit routes down the gate and just opens it. That's my unit doing that. My unit kind of routes and then just, runs out, opens the gate for me, and now my units are in there. And then the gate closed, and half my units are here. And, half my units are here, and they're just glitched out now. There's an entire unit just glitched out. And because obviously the AI, you know, again, I go back to kill the gate, and again, because the AI isn't really reacting to this, they got a unit of depleted slingers right there. I end up taking the gatehouse momentarily. You'll be able to see it in a second again, not just over the gate. The gate, boom, I took the gates, somehow. The gates are mine. No, actually, no, sorry, I take that back. The gates opened again because my unit routed through there. So I haven't actually taken the gates yet. Because of that, I had more units here, so I took the gatehouse.
You have captured the gate.
Just ran my units through. But again, not all my units could make their way through. Again, by the way, as well, beautiful sandstorm right here. New sandstorm gives a really nice, like that looks awesome, right? That looks cool. You got to admit it. That looks good. That looks good. So it doesn't look good though. It is this. Again, running my units through the gate that I just randomly took. The AI takes it back.
Oh,
The
man.
AI takes it back, and then doors.
All this useless shit just sitting on the walls, doing nothing. This is what you want though, you want the fight to be happening on the walls like this. This is what made Rome 1 so cool back in the day. Like, you would upgrade your city on the frontier with the Gauls, and it would finally have stone walls, and then they would try and break down those walls, and they would be... rather than break down those walls, they would try and conquer those walls, and they'd be climbing up ladders and siege towers, and they'd just be piling onto the wall, and you would have your Hastati up there, or your early legionary cohorts up there holding those walls. Oh, Medieval 2 as well had so many good fights that happened on the walls. So the siege battles were so good in these games, and then of course Medieval 1 didn't have walls, but it still just had such good sieges because the AI was so good. These games did such a good job, so to see that Total War CA still struggling is just embarrassing. And you know that for a fact that they are struggling when their last attempt was that Warhammer 3 Siege rework, and they just had no idea what the hell they were doing. What a mess that was. Oh, and I called that as well. It's so easy to call these games without playing them, it really is.
Slam shot. Half my chariots are out. Half my chariots are in. I mean, look at his cluster.
My
Again,
god, it's like they're grazing. It looks like cows or sheep grazing in a field or something. Or it looks like fucking insects just sitting in a cage. Not a cage, like a glass box or something, like cockroaches in a lab just sitting around waiting to be roused for food. Look at them all.
chariots are in. I mean, look at his cluster. Again, the chariots are struggling to get through the gate.
Man.
You know, what do? Send a unit to every single capture point. Win the day. AI doesn't really react. I think they send a unit of spearmen, but my...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, man. Like, I've complimented 3K already, but man, 3K was really good at responding to this kind of stuff. It was so hard to just catch the AI out or trick it. What is going on? How can they not just keep improving all this stuff every time? What? Just build on your past successes, improve things. It's not like they have to start again every time they make a game and they just... It's like 1 step forward, 10 steps back. Fuck's sake.
A quarter of a unit of chariots that somehow made it through are going to be absolutely...
This is why I lasted so long in 3K and then just gave up on it, because some of the things it had actually worked, like sieges actually worked. The battles were just shit. The combat, the fundamental melee on melee combat was shit. But the sieges actually worked. Man.
Be fine. Just send it to every single capture point. AI doesn't send soldiers back. They send a unit of javelins, which my archers could have dealt with anyway. They have all this infantry up here, just fighting the smallest amount of men. Again, like, I just don't, yeah. Just don't, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Like, jumping in and stuck, and half this unit is inside the settlement. You know, it's just very frustrating. And then I'm like microing this unit, half this quarter of a unit of chariots that are like glitched out because the gate got given to me and then taken back. Yeah. So the chariots are just going to do that basically for the rest of the match. I'm going to take the capture points and yeah. Like, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating.
Yep.
It really is, because these battles could be so cool. Like, they look awesome. Like, this is cool. Like, this looks awesome, right? And you
Yep.
could have, like, breaches and siege towers, all of that stuff is
Yep.
in. Again, another thing that kind of actually annoys me about breaches is when you make one, you can't choose where it goes. It's just random.
Oh my
It's
god.
a bit ratty. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of point out, you know, kind of how the AI is performing, at least for me. Again, this is just how the AI has been performing for me. In my battles, these are 4 replays that I got yesterday streaming, and I think one...
Oh wow, so this is all from the same day. So it's not even like he's cherry picking. This is pretty much just a normal day's work. Jesus.
of them was from me recording separately. So 2 separate occasions. The AI generally, I wouldn't expect the AI to change. Again, I'm about to win the siege battle here. Like, I'm gonna lose the siege battle. There's no way I take the walls, right? They have all of this, but I'm gonna win the siege battle because I just ran through and yeah, did my thing. Yeah, just took the capture points like so.
Oh my god, that is wrong too.
GG easy. Yeah, so when you take all the capture points as well, the AI slowly starts to lose morale as well. So they lose a percentage of their morale every 20 seconds, depending on the battle. Again, of course, they're going to lose at a certain point. So yeah, hopefully this has...
Oh my god, that is wrong 2 all over again. Fuck's sake, look at this.
Battle decisive victory.
No. No.
What the fuck? What was that?
Oh, come on.
Alright, they need to patch the pathfinding in this game. Okay, I just took
It's
a
not pathfinding, they didn't do anything, they
Yeah,
didn't
no,
even
there
try
isn't
to
even a
path.
path.
There wasn't a path for them to fail to try and do.
Well, hell, the animations are in slow motion.
Yeah, I saw it. Oh, come on.
Okay, I got a town.
Oh, man.
Look at that, look at those stats. Apparently I got 888 kills.
I have no face right now. Oh, man.
Oh,
Oh, come
occupy.
on. Alright, let me get onto the battle for...
A general ranked up for that.
Oh, come on. That is awful, seriously.
Oh my god. Okay, when they attack, at least they'll like just run forward helplessly and we can actually kill things.
Fuck's sake.
What is authority even?
So that was September the 3rd, 2013. And you could win without the AI even doing anything. At least in this case it looks like the AI did something, but in terms of defending the capture point, they didn't even fucking do anything, did they? Did the AI even do anything? Or did he just have such a positional advantage that whenever the AI did anything, it wasn't enough, and the timer decided to fight?
Recording separate. Yeah, And this is just
Yeah, he's
one
taking
of them
the
was
points.
from me recording separately. So
They are
two separate
sending.
occasions.
Is that a unit going?
The AI generally, I wouldn't expect the AI to.
A unit
to
of
change
archers?
again. I'm
Oh
about to
my
win
god,
the
it's
siege battle here.
retreating?
Like I'm gonna lose the siege
Nah.
battle. There's no way I take the walls, right? They have all of this. My GG.
Yeah.
Well, the AI.
The AI did nothing, it couldn't do anything. Retarded AI, holy shit.
On the battle again, of course, they're gonna lose at a certain point.
That is just Rome 2 all over again, right there. That's pretty much Rome 2 all over again. The only difference is, in this case, it looks like the AI did move things around and do stuff. But in the Rome 2 fight, the AI literally just did nothing the whole fight. It just stood there. Like, the AI was basically turned off. See, on launch day on Rome 2, there was no AI, almost. It was absolutely fucking pathetic. This is definitely not as bad as that, but sometimes you get the exact same results. It's shocking.
So yeah, hopefully this has shown you some more stuff about the game, and kind of just informed you on whether or not to pick it up. Again, this is just my experience. This is just my 7-8 hours of playing the game. These are a handful of replays. Again, sometimes in the land battles, the AI would form up nicely and not send units in individually, one by one. But these aren't just individual situations, and I would say they do show up now and again more often than maybe I would like. So we're going to wrap up the video today. Hopefully, yeah, I guess I said this is giving you some more insight on the game. Again, this is just my experience with it. This isn't like, maybe you wouldn't, if you bought this game, you wouldn't receive any of the problems I've run into. And hopefully, maybe it will get addressed at some point, because yeah, there's some serious fundamental problems right there.
Serious fundamental problems. And at the start, I think he said major issues. Major issues, serious fundamental problems. Good on him for being able to admit this, because so far this has not been admitted. I don't think anyone else has pointed this out, and there's got to be dozens of people that have been given access. So yeah, it's good. I like to hear this.
And hopefully that they can be sorted. But yeah, I wanted to make this video just to kind of show that off. And if you enjoyed, please do drop a like. It really does help out the channel. Again, if you enjoy this type of content, well, not enjoy this type of content, but if you enjoy my...
And needless to say, there are plenty of people who would have also said this and uploaded videos pointing this out, and some of us have track records to prove it. But of course, if CA knows in advance that they'll do that, they're not going to get access. So, welcome to the club, Jackie, maybe. Like, maybe next time there's a game, they won't slip you the code. Or the email just won't come out for some reason. Yeah, who knows. But yeah, there's plenty more that can be said about the AI in Total War. Is there, like, see when people are playing Total War, do they actually want an AI that can beat them? That's a question worth asking and talking about. How much of the AI being bad in these modern Total War games is down to CA's ineptitude, inability to actually synthesize a good AI, and how much of it is just deliberate, down to these players that play Warhammer just wanting to be able to fight against an AI that can't even do anything, can't think, can't fight back, can't even defend itself? How much of the AI situation is down to that? And yeah, there's also this. People sometimes bring this up. Total War AI has always been bad. One of Total War's biggest gaping flaws is just how terrible the AI has the capacity to be. In the vast majority of games, the AI is so pathetically one-dimensional and just downright autistic in the way that it appears to be a dice roll in the decisions that they make. They just don't make good decisions, they just make a decision of some kind. Really, the AI is not improved since Rome 1. The AI has fluctuated between being bad and utter dog shit over various games, but not once can we say the AI has actually evolved. There are rare instances where the AI impresses you when they actually carry out a cavalry flank, something resembling an ambush, or perhaps a siege carried out on all sides very aggressively, but in the vast majority of battles you can perform the exact same strategy and get the same decisive result every match. I love how CA have so desperately avoided the issue of the AI so consistently to the point that they are forced to crutch insane anti-player biases, particularly on the campaign map, that piss the player off to no end and give the AI ridiculous stat buffs in an attempt to balance things, but that still can't save its strategically useless sorry ass. It's definitely not something that is easy to do, but there are strategy games more complex than Total War that showcase greater AI potential, even if those also include much better hidden AI buffs. Yeah, Age of Empires 2 is an example, and this is the difficulty modifiers thing which I opened my critique series with, so the bad AI is definitely something that's at the core of the problems with Total War and its gameplay. and has been for a long time. So it all ties together as you'd expect. Total War AI is brain dead. Already watered down from Med 1, as were many other aspects, and this goes into the Med 1 coverage that I've been doing. And of course I've just showed you the Med 1 AI and how much better it was, arguably. Would love to see that in vid, as I don't remember that behaviour. Would make for good content, I think. Maybe even a vid showcasing all the small but important behavioural details from that time, even Med 1. And then I said here, Total War AI today is worse than it was in 2002. Medieval 1 AI is absolutely 100%, not exaggerating at all, way more competent and rational than it is in Warhammer 3 in 2023. I just played an England campaign against AI, and most of the time when I jostle for good terrain and I'm about to start wiping an entire stack, the AI withdraws from the field. The AI waits to see if you will attack it up a hill and then leaves the battle when it knows you will not. This is light years ahead of the AI in Total War. These games provide zero challenge on purpose because they're designed to be played by babies that have never played an RTT/RTS before without getting upset and closing the game. It's pathetic. And over here I said, in a community post 2 years ago, so this is way before what I just showed you, is complaining about the AI in Total War productive? We're a long way from the Rome 2 launch AI of 2013. Can it still be meaningfully improved upon? If so, is improving the AI a priority? Think back to your best Total War moments and how much the AI or lack thereof was a part of that. What do you think? And of course, 90% of my audience want to see the AI be improved. The single player experience is the core of the game. Yep. And then if we go for the top responses, poor AI has been a complaint from many of the games in the Total War franchise. Other than poor unit balancing, poor AI is what makes the battles less interesting, or the campaign aspects seem odd, with poor decisions taken by the AI factions, poor army compositions, etc. What good is the body if there's nothing in the brain? And then someone says here, I feel like fixing the AI would bring about a greater increase in the depth and extended life of the campaign. For people who know how to win against the AI with a standard build, they aren't pushed further in terms of skill. Imagine legendary difficulty AI that recognises it's been flanked and backs off, for example. Yeah, this is it. There should be a big difference between easy and normal, normal and hard, hard and legendary. Like, see the people that can actually lose to the AI in these games, they should be playing on easy, and the AI should just be defensive and indecisive and not exploit the player's weaknesses. A normal difficulty AI should be somewhere in the middle, and then a legendary or the hardest possible AI should use everything it can, and it should be programmed to recognise all of the advantages, all of the good actions, good behaviours. See, the people always say, of course, but imagine if you could lose to the legendary AI, it would just piss you off, it would just be aggravating. Imagine an AI that perfectly retreats just outside of your range on the campaign map. See the people that play on Legendary, that is what they should be dealing with. We already had something like that in Shogun 2, or at least it felt like that when we started learning the game. See that period where you're picking up the game and it's still somewhat of a challenge? That is the sweet spot where the game's the most fun. This is what we want. That's how I see it anyway. Yep. I'll link this poll in the description and you can read these. There's a lot here, but I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one. If you think what I do is worthwhile and want to encourage me to do more, then check my Patreon out. I do my best to award perks, including monthly updates on what I am thinking and what I have planned. Special thanks to Matteo Olivetti, Nerdington Paints, SJ Mage, Bador Nasser and D-Sync was here.